Hey, what is up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel, and if you guys are new here, welcome. So in today's video, we're going to put a bunch of color removers to the test to find the best color remover. So I have 7 color removers here, and the contenders are Joico Color Intensity Eraser, Pulp Riot Blank Canvas, L'Oreal Effasol Color Remover, Malibu DDL, Schwarzkopf Bond Enforcing Color Remover, Punky Color Color Off, and L'Oreal Color Zap. So let me explain how this little experiment is gonna go. So I am gonna be testing all these color removers out on my little model here. So come on in, honey. Don't be shy. All right, so I created this monstrosity of a wig specifically for this experiment. So let me explain the colors that I have going on here. So at the top, we have the L'Oreal Colorista in their blue shade. And then all down here, these are all Arctic Fox colors that I just put on the hair last night, so they are fresh. So it'll be really interesting to see how these color removers work on like freshly dyed hair. So the colors that I have here are their Aquamarine, Phantom Green, Wrath, and then down here I have Transylvania, which is their black shade. So the reason why I picked these colors is because typically these are the hardest colors to remove. You have your blues, your greens, your reds, and then your blacks. And especially because they're freshly dyed, we're really going to be putting these color removers to the test. So I have the hair sectioned off in 7 different sections with different color hair elastics, so I know which color remover goes with which section. So the way I'm gonna go about this is I'm gonna mix up all the different color removers first, and where possible, I'm gonna use 20 volume developer across the board, except unless they came with like their own developer, just so we can be pretty consistent. And then once they're all mixed up, I'm gonna quickly apply them all to their designated section and then start the clock, and then we're gonna see how they work. We're gonna see which one processes faster, which one affects what pigment differently, and we're gonna see which one damages the hair the most. So I'm super excited to see which one comes out on top. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, I got my mask on because you know the fumes were strong. So first up we have the Joico Color Intensity. It does look a little dry here. I do add a little bit more developer later on. This one kind of smells like bleach, but it's not too bad. Next up, we have the Pulp Riot. This one was super creamy and really easy to work with, and this one doesn't smell as bad. It's more mild compared to the Joico. This one is the Effasol. This one also smells a little bit bleachy, but not too bad, and this one was also really easy to work with. What I'm showing you there is the Pulp Riot was already starting to work on the Colorista, so it pretty much started to work immediately. Okay, what is this? The Malibu DDL. First of all, it looked like sand coming out of the package. And you really don't get that much product at all, so that's all you get in one packet, and that was just enough to cover the one section, so just something to keep in mind there. All right, so I just want to quickly show you how these ones are looking. So this is the Joico. So it's lifting the black pretty well into like a pink. The red is turning into like more of an orange. The green is not really touched. The blue looks like that. And then this is the Pulp Riot. So you can see it's working really, really well on the light blue. The green is getting a bit lighter. The red is kind of turning into a little bit of an orange. And the black is starting to lighten up as well. Next up, we have the Schwarzkopf Bond Enforcing Color Remover. This one was also really creamy, super easy to apply and to work with. And this one by far smelled the best. I think it's the part B, like the conditioning thing that you put into it. It smells really nice. So this one by far smells the best. Okay, the Color Zap. So you mix everything in this little bottle, and this one is super liquidy and kind of hard to work with. This one, I really didn't like applying this one. It was really messy. And you can see the Schwarzkopf was already working super quickly, and the Malibu was working pretty quickly as well, only on the Colorista. Next up, we have the Punky Color Color Off. This one is great because it comes in a box with everything you need. So it comes with the developer, it comes with a brush, a hair mask. So it's literally all in one box, and I got this at Sally's. And this one was also pretty easy to work with. All right, so now the colors have been on for about 30 minutes. 30 minutes is about the max. So I'm just kind of showing you a preview of what we're looking at, and I'm gonna go ahead and wash these off. The results are in. So I'm gonna go ahead and rank these color removers from most disappointing to most impressive, just based on the results. So how well did it remove the colors that we had, and in what condition did it leave the hair? So did it leave the hair kind of crunchy, dry, and damaged, or did it leave it kind of okay? So let's go ahead and announce the winners. All right, so the award for most disappointing goes to Malibu DDL. Unfortunately, this one really didn't do it for me, and I had really high hopes for this one. I've heard a lot of great reviews. So it's this one right here on the blue elastic. It barely touched any of the colors that we had. It did, however, remove the Colorista really, really well. It did leave the hair this really pretty blonde color, so it gets like 1 point for that. But the rest of the colors, it barely touched. Next up on the list of disappointments is this one here. This one is the Color Zap. I have to be honest, I didn't really have high hopes for this one because it is formulated for permanent hair colors, and we were trying to remove direct dyes, so it didn't really do too much. It kind of did take away the Colorista and fade the other colors, but not as much as I would have liked. Next up from that, we have the Punky Color Color Off. So this one did remove a lot of the color, so I will give it that. However, the condition of the hair does not feel super great. It feels really crispy and crunchy and just dry. So maybe I left it on too long. Maybe you can still get away with using this but not leaving it on as long. It does come with its own conditioner or hair mask, so I do really like that. I did not get the chance to use this on this particular section. On all of them, I just used the same regular conditioner just so they'd all be the same. But yeah, not my favorite. It did remove the color pretty well in terms of the blues, but left the hair pretty crunchy, so this one is not a winner for me. Moving on up, we have the L'Oreal Effasol. So this one is, funny enough, formulated for permanent hair color, similar to the Color Zap, but it did work really, really well on removing these direct dyes. So you can see here, it did remove quite a bit of the colors. However, the condition of the hair is actually, it's okay, but not the best, but it's okay. So the L'Oreal Effasol is kind of like a, okay, maybe not the worst, maybe not the best, but it's all right, it's all right. And then in the number 2 spot, we have the Joico Color Intensity Eraser and then the Pulp Riot Blank Canvas. So I'm gonna group these two together because their results were fairly similar. Out of the two, the Joico Color Intensity Eraser did perform better. It did remove a lot of the color. Like, look at that, it is basically back to blonde. The condition of the hair doesn't feel super great, so just be careful with this one. I do have another video where I use the Joico Color Intensity Eraser on my own hair to remove blue hair dye, the same aquamarine that I used here, and it did work really, really well on my hair. It did leave my hair a little bit dry and damaged, just a bit, but it does perform super well, and I still have the hair on my head, so if you do want to use this one is a really great one. Just be careful, it does dry out your hair. With the Pulp Riot Blank Canvas, the hair does feel a lot nicer than the Joico Color Intensity Eraser. The performance is very similar. It didn't perform as well, but pretty well. So if your hair is like pretty faded or the color is pretty faded, maybe go for the Pulp Riot. It could work pretty well for you, and the condition of the hair does feel way nicer than the Joico Color Intensity. All right, so that brings us to our final color remover. So this one wins the award for most impressive color remover. Out of all the other ones I tried today, this is the one that stood out to me the most, and that is the Schwarzkopf Bond Enforcing Color Remover. As you can see from the test strand, this one removed pretty much all of the color, except for the black, of course. None of the color removers fully remove the black. That's something you might have to go in with a second application if you are trying to remove black hair dye. But with the other ones, this one pretty much got rid of all of them. With the green, you can still see a slight green tinge, and where the red was, there is a slight orange hue. So even if you went in with another application, you would totally get your hair back to being blonde. And this one really stands out to me because the hair does not feel compromised at all. I feel like this one out of all of them is the most gentle. I picked this one up at the store and I didn't really have any expectations for it. I've never really heard about anyone using this one, so I kind of just threw it into the bunch, not really thinking much of it. but I think this is actually going to be my new favorite color remover. I feel like it's the most gentle on the hair while still doing a really good job. This does come with 2 packets. So packet A is the powder, and then packet B is actually this conditioning element. So you do still have to get a developer in addition to the 2 packets. I thought the conditioner was going to be the developer, so I thought it came with a developer, but it does not. So you do have to get a separate developer. On the back of the package, they do recommend these 2, so I'll leave them on the screen so you guys can see. I did end up mixing it with my 20 volume developer that I was using with the rest of them. But if you are going to use this one, I would suggest using the developers that they recommend on the package. As with all of these, be sure that you read the instructions on the package. I'll leave them down below as well, because some of them you can mix with water, you can mix with a 6 volume or a 10 volume developer, which will be a lot more gentle on the hair than using a 20 volume developer like I did. I did want to go for the extreme, so I wanted to use the highest volume developer I could and leave it on the hair for the longest amount of time as I could, just to see the maximum results. But of course you want to be gentle on your hair, so don't leave it on your hair as long, maybe use water. But no matter what color remover you do choose, always do a test strand first. And I know test strands are kind of annoying to do, but as you can see with our little experiment that we did today, your results might vary greatly depending on what color you're trying to remove, depending on what product you're using. So to do a test strand, I would just get a little section of hair behind your ear, kind of like that big, and mix up a little bit of the product, apply it to the strand, and then you can see how quickly it works, so how long you have to leave it on your hair. Does it even work at removing the pigment that you're trying to remove? And how does your hair feel after? Does it leave your hair feeling really crunchy and compromised? Then maybe don't use that product, maybe try something else. Because the worst thing you can do is apply it to all your hair and it doesn't even remove the color that you wanted to remove, and it leaves your hair crunchy and like breaking off. So always do a test strand first. And I'll leave the links for all the products down below. So a lot of them are professional products, but you know, you can get a little sneaky on the internet, and there is a way to buy all of these online without a license. So I'll leave the links for where I got everything down below. Alright, so that is pretty much it. I hope you guys found this video really helpful, and let us know in the comments down below if you've tried any of these color removers before and how your experience went. Did you like them? Did you not like them? Did they ruin your hair? Let us know, and also let me know if you've tried another color remover that you really like, or one that you wish I mentioned in this video. Let me know in the comments down below. And if you haven't seen the other video where I removed my blue hair dye using the Joico Color Intensity Eraser, I'll link that as well so you can watch that next. And I will see you in my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.